saying Vitality over there. A significantly more one-sided affair. How do you feel about this matchup?
You know, I think there's a little bit slightly more credit to be given to Endpoint. I'd probably put it about 25-75 in favor of Vitality. Because, you know, Stumpy is correct. Vitality absolutely has Endpoint's number a lot of the times, you know, in the last 9 games they've played. 7-2 for Vitality. But that being said, Endpoint has a lot of good tools at their disposal, and the past couple of times they've played, they've actually came out on top 2 out of the 3 times they've played. So Endpoint may be finding their way back against a team like Vitality.
So maybe cold, hard results, making this a little bit more even than initially anticipated, but still, Vitality, a deadly team here. Vitality in the orange, Endpoint in the blue, a best of 5, and the 2nd seed on the line. VIT off of his own backboard, out to K-Dop. They connect, shot towards the golds off the backboard, and Relating Wave will take it to the corner. Metzenaris tries to turn and pick it up, but VIT's on top of him too quickly and pushes it back into the third again. A 1 challenge by Virtuoso will get them out to midfield, and a nice extension from Metzenaris onto the backboard of Vitality. The retreating defense stands strong. Relating Wave looking for a double tap, misses the 2nd touch, sets it up for Metzenaris though, and they'll shoot near post and score.
Well done here, Relating Wave. I was thinking you're going to have to work real hard to get the ball through VIT, but luckily he had 0 boost, so he couldn't stick as close to he wanted to stay with that play around the corner, and step behind means that Endpoint get the ball right back and turn it into a quality shot.
VIT off his own backboard now as Endpoint, following kickoff, resume offense. VIT down, trying to connect with 1. K-Dop will pick up the pinch. Connect with Alpha in the corner. The shot is just high of the goal. He had the angle correct, which is the hardest part. Now Relating Wave. Long clear down the field.
Ooh,
over to the side. Alpha off the wall. Metzenaris and Virtuoso double commit. Open backfield. K-Dop's just got to get it past Relating Wave. Shoots up for 90.
Yeah.
Bounces it off the corner and in.
That one's all just the product of Endpoint running into each other right there in the midfield. That leads to Virtuoso feeling like he has to go cover up a potential weakness and not let the ball get pushed into the corner. And unfortunately for them, that means that the rotation back is a little bit slow and nobody really there to cover up K-Dop. That's a great place to put that ball.
K-Dop with the Crimson Airstrike goal explosion. I love it. Demos all the players in the goal, but here comes a shot. Double commit on the goal line. Will block it, and Virtuoso can't collect the ball at midfield and has to corral it back to his own half. Well defended.
And you're seeing both sides of what you like out of both teams. I think the biggest strength for Endpoint really is their ability to dig those balls out into the middle and put them in some good shooting positions. But at the same time, Vitality, VIT in particular, he's going to be the real big problem, I think, throughout all aspects of the pitch, as Relating Wave going to take one away from Alpha.
Relating Wave does get there in time. It's an excellent high pass, but well read. Endpoint's midfield defense staying up strong, and they win one on the goal line as well. VIT can't get there. Relating Wave pitches it off the inbound defender. That's Endpoint back on top.
Another awkward one here for VIT. He sees his teammate up, and then as soon as that ball kicks off the ceiling again, he has to try and make a snap read and just can't handle the awkward camera work. Ends up not able to make the touch and follow that up by Relating Wave making a nice read on the secondary clear coming through, gets the dunk.
Virtuoso off the wall, the half flip to the goal. Alpha's got to get in the way. Relating Wave on the follow.
Nice.
Bump off the goal line. Bounces off some woodwork. Metzenaris can't get it through K-Dop. And then Alpha will try to trace down Relating Wave, but flips past him. Relating Wave and Virtuoso going to try and keep this one in the orange. Another bump on the defense, and Endpoint is popping right now.
They're looking good. They're able to give themselves that little bit of extra time that you need to be able to force Vitality back. And here's where you get real dangerous. You find that awkward punt or the long clear out of the corner. And then you have to give up ground, and that's when Vitality can really make you pay.
K-Dop coming in. Off of 1, it went high. Follow-up also high. Metzenaris to try to block, but VIT just waits him out, hits him with the change up there, ties the game.
Nothing else to say other than you gotta hit this one if you're Metza. I know it's a little weird, but you can't let VIT have that look against Relating Wave, facing the wrong direction, the world to pick from, and it's tied up.
1:35 left to go. Alpha to the outside, VIT following kickoff, gets it into the blue. Here comes Vitality. Metanaris not going to miss this one. Back to midfield, there's K-Dop. Small pass to Alpha, off the wall, a miss from Virtuoso. K-Dop will try to turn this one in against Relating Wave. Pops it over the top of him, and Fairy Peak hangs back as K-Dop cuts him off. Now Fairy Peak inbound. Loses to Virtuoso, though, and Alpha out of the backfield blasts it to the backboard. Relating Wave will add some pace to give it back to Virtuoso in the midfield. End-to-end, goal zone,
nice.
End zone to end zone play. Fairy Peak to K-Dop, infield pass is going to need some help off the backboard, and Relating Wave will break it up. But here's Alpha again, just keeping this ball so threatening above the endpoint goal. As Fairy Peak tries to put the pressure on. Virtuoso out to Metanaris, and Virtuoso now through the sky. Here they come trying to take that lead back.
Oh, Metza and Relating Wave, a little bit of miscommunication there. Couldn't figure out which one wanted the ball. Thankfully, K-Dop dropped it past the Virtuoso.
Oh!
Top right corner, make it the lead.
Look at this, the fake from Relating Wave. Up for it, looks for the flip reset. They believe him, he even got it, but then uses it to get off the ball so Virtuoso can take the shot, drag the defenders one way, shoot the other way. That's the lead.
Wow. Endpoint, that one really kind of came out of nowhere. To be quite honest, you're thinking, oh, they just gave up the ball, and oh, it took a little slip up from K-Dop, small opening, and now what a Vitality pull out of the bag of tricks.
Virtuoso out to Metanaris, and Fairy Peak's gonna miss, but out of the backfield. K-Dop will get it to the corner, chase it down himself, wins against Metanaris. Alpha versus Relating Wave, Alpha wins, tie game again!
Man, you could feel the terror in Relating Wave. Look how early he jumps for this shot coming at him. He's like, Alpha's gonna pump this top right, and he goes right under him. That's great shooting from Alpha to get inside the mind of the guy, make him pay for it.
Vitality will not go away. 23 seconds left, and they've tied it up again. Relating Wave wants to win into regulation, though, back into the box up against Alpha. And Alpha will get himself a savior medal here at the end of the game. Fairy Peak to the outside. Wins the challenge. Vitality looking to get last look before overtime. Goalie out fast. Virtuoso Metanaris now on the other side of the field. They win one challenge, a pass back down. Relating Wave's up for it, blocked in front of the goal. Metanaris will try and get one more, but no.
Oh, they might have him here.
Fairy Peak comes in for the infield pass. It's wide, it's gonna need some more. There's one touch, there's two. K-Dop's up for it. Do they have the boost to reach? They do. Relating Wave will get to it overtime in game one.
Endpoint with a bit of a scramble back there. They didn't think that touch from Alpha could be that good. They were all ready to try and force Vitality into their own half. Thankfully, they make it to overtime, and this one feels a little bit coin flippy. They're both playing pretty well and executing on the chances when they appear.
Vitality, though, gets a lead in this game. Successfully tied it up multiple times for Metanaris, and Relating Wave gonna have to play perfect defense. They'll get in the way of one, but they're gonna have to stop two. There's the miss. Oh, Metanaris covers it up in the third man. And then bumps Fairy Peak on his way out.
Oh, nice.
Relating Wave rotating back in, gonna struggle. Virtuoso, who gets dropped underneath, and Relating Wave covers him up on the ground. Now, infield pass to Metanaris, blocked by Fairy Peak.
Cannot be understated how well Relating Wave played that defensive sequence. It is so easy to get antsy on the goal line there.
Big old double commit. Fairy Peak doesn't really get it off the wall, but none of the endpoint players immediately crashing it. Here comes another pass. Alpha blocks at the point of contact, high in the sky. The first minute of overtime, fireworks from both sides, but nothing landing. Recovery. Relating Wave to Metanaris. Metanaris through one, maintaining his momentum. Wonderful use of drift to get this one into the box. Virtuoso takes his time. Fairy Peak wasn't ready for it. Now Relating Wave having to block as Control swaps sides. Metanaris out to Relating Wave. Two-touch clear, but it uses all of Wave's boost. Anyway, rotating back out. We'll find a monster clear.
He was looking for Virtuoso. He is sad that he didn't have anything in the tank because he just bailed, but he gets the read. So Virtuoso gives up one pass, says, I need this midfield boost, give me a second. And he's able to somehow turn this into a goal? What?
Okay, I need that replay again from Virtuoso's perspective, because he catches that off the wall, lands, and I think he must have immediately jumped with a clairvoyant read to get the win here. 4-3 in overtime over Vitality. What a start to this series.
You know, you talk about people who are real good in Europe mechanically, and I think too often you forget a lot about Virtuoso because you get so wrapped up in the, oh yeah, the whole demo thing forever ago, but make no mistake, The dude is nuts. He's real good, and he showed it in this game, no doubt. Endpoint, start off strong.
Absolutely. 7 goals in this game. And at no point did Vitality lead here. This goal out to Virtuoso and lands it immediately up. He's up well before Alpha makes the touch there. That's mind-blowing to me. What a play, and what a way to get a win. They're going to be feeling great on Team Endpoint.
Excellent start for Endpoint, but that's the hard part, you know. Like we said, they've won 2 out of the last 3 games against Vitality, but across the board, they're not wrong on the desk. Vitality still holds a pretty good edge over Endpoint in general. And you can feel that one really could have gone either way. And Alpha is going to show him how to start off game 2 with this shot out of the corner.
Oh, he did this all, well, not all himself. Fairy Peak helped him get it out there, and then off the roof of his car to keep it low. Brilliant stuff. Vitality will finally find a lead.
That's a spicy one, too. Not easy to get that angle with that bounce. Well played, Alpha, but they get it right back. Oh my goodness.
Endpoints, that's fun. Nice try. We got kickoff goals, too. And over the top of K-Dop, that's just unfortunate.
Yeah, sometimes that's the way it goes. And Fairy Peak, you know, he's playing out across to go and grab that corner boost in case that ball spikes sideways. Unfortunately, though, sometimes that kickoff goes just wrong enough, and that's what happens every time. But they get it back. Okay. Relating Wave is just in time.
Oh, so like 3 kickoff goals on just pinpoint accuracy? No. We'll play some actual Rocket League now as K-Dop tries to get out of his half and gets it past the midfield. Alpha is a threat up there. Relating Wave doesn't know how to read him there. Too many things to look at. Vitality's back on top.
You're not kidding. Let's take a look. Relating Wave here. Yeah, he sees Alpha. He's trying to figure out if he's going for the flip reset, and then he sees a miss, and that kind of puts a hitch in his step as he's rotating into the net because he's thinking maybe I can turn in and get it. And then you realize at the last second, hang on, he's not done.
Yeah, he sees Alpha miss, and then his attention is turned to K-Dop on the ground, and then all too late realizes, wait, Alpha is coming back for this. The weird switcheroo. Pretty play. Tangle up the defense. Alpha with trying to look for another one. He's already gotten both the goals for Vitality in this game. Fairy Peak versus Relating Wave. Neutral to the side. Alpha into the corner here. Doesn't get the second touch. And Metzenaris get it out to midfield. Metzenaris to bump K-Dop off the ball. Virtuoso will clear it to the corner. They'll keep it there for now. Alpha slowly picking this one up, trying to stay near it, but Virtuoso just winning more and more of these challenges. Off the wall, back in front of the box, Relating Wave shoots to the outside and ties the game.
That all goes to Virtuoso fighting for that tip right there in the corner. By itself doesn't mean too much other than you prevented a clear, but the follow through from Metza and Relating Wave to be right on top of that one. Just get that hard kick out of that left corner, and Relating Wave, you dotted that one into the net.
Relating Wave versus Alpha right now. The only 2 players scoring in this game. Metzenaris to the outside. Alpha into the midfield, following this ball, no boost, but just trying to put the pressure on Relating Wave. We'll get a solid clear to Virtuoso, and they'll put it to midfield. K-Dop now back, counter touch. Metzenaris follows this one, Fairy Peak, wheel to wheel with him. Breaks up another challenge in the middle. K-Dop up, Alpha gonna be slow to this. Relating Wave gets it over the top of him, and Fairy Peak. Counter read on counter read at this point. Metzenaris to the outside. Relating Wave will connect with Metzenaris. Ooh, back on top of him. And gets it away from Fairy Peak, but Virtuoso a flip in the midfield and catches, sends it towards the goal. Alpha will cover it up.
Virtuoso knows he probably could have scored that one. He was going for the shot all the way to the left-hand side, but just didn't quite hit it properly, and Vitality got away with one there. K-Dop was not expecting that little bit of an extra touch from one of the Endpoint players, so it will remain tied, but only just. And look at Virtuoso again. He's just making him think about it for a second.
Yeah, that catch from Virtuoso, so unexpected in front of the goal. I think he gets possibly a rare panic out of Alpha. If he goes for the fake, he might get a 3-goal in front of him, but either way, tied up as we cross halftime. Here comes Endpoint again. Alpha hogging this ball away from K-Dop. Fairy Peak to 1. And then play slows down in the corners. Virtuoso tries to regain control. K-Dop will try to take it from him, puts it across the box. Relating Wave clears the way, but Fairy Peak with a read puts it upper 90, and Virtuoso covers it up.
Ooh, K-Dub. Oh, yeah, you couldn't ask too much of him there. It was an awkward approach, but that's the right idea for Vitality. If they're able to make Endpoint believe that those balls are going to go around the corners or off the backboard, they're one of the best at putting one back into the middle with space to work with.
Very peak, keeping this ball high. Metanaris now going for the dribble past one. Pretty control, but up against two defenders who are just tackling. He will lose control. Metanaris with a dunk, though. A bump on one. Virtuoso up against Alpha and gets it around him for the lead.
He got him again. I think Alpha, as he's rotating into net, he's got no boost, so he's like, I have to give a little bit of room. And Virtuoso, he knew that Alpha couldn't do too much with it, so he was just getting in position for thinking about how Alpha could clear that ball after he sees it bounce. And he's able to make the adjustment.
Achieves Virtuoso's brain, I think, is a full half second ahead of everybody else on the pitch right now. The man is exactly where he needs to be. 2 games in a row, and with 1 minute and 10 left, they're up by 1 on Vitality, looking to go to match point. Very peek over the top of 1. Alpha grounded, not gonna be able to meet Metanaris, who's already on the wall. Up against K-Dop, what a neutral challenge comes in. Very peek into his corner before the deadly 2-goal lead could materialize.
Not much time as well. Really curious what Vitality are going to do to try and remain in possession of the ball more, because they're kind of playing this ping pong game, and down 1 with under a minute, you need to start generating more chances. And Alpha may have done it. Oh my goodness.
Oh baby, look at this flip reset. Alpha off the wall, follows with an air dribble, catches it, immediately uses it just to maintain altitude over the top of all the defenders and ties the game.
Relating wave. You have just been taught the lesson of respect. He did not think that Alpha was going to get that, and he started to turn around, and boy, was he wrong.
Wow. And they've tied it back up again. They've had the lead in this game, but Endpoint has been with them bumper to bumper the whole way. 17 seconds left. We had overtime in game 1, maybe. We'll have it here again in game 2. Virtuoso out to relating wave, blocked by Alpha. End of regulation. Metanaris to relating wave. K-Dop stops it. Here comes Fairy Peak. Looking for a last attempt. Blocked by Virtuoso. Alpha into K-Dop, blocked by Metanaris. Can they catch it and carry it? Popped up for relating wave. He's gonna try and find the angle, but no, the defense will get in the way. Overtime, 2 games in a row.
I like it though. Vitality are still finding ways to get that ball out to K-Dop in the middle, and the demo to force Alpha to turn away from that. Could have been a dangerous kickoff as well. Relating wave is going to need a little help, but Fairy Peak in the way.
Oh, this is wild. Here comes Metanaris over the top of another, onto the backboard. Fairy Peak should be low on boost, but he still gets in the way of Virtuoso. And now relating wave with control. Endpoint controlling this series and this overtime from beginning to end so far. Metanaris into this corner. He's got Virtuoso in front of the box, looks for the pass. Fairy Peak reads this one finally. They'll get the ball across into the blue, and now relating wave slows him down, hits the brakes on 1, but loses control on the backside. And now Vitality will get an opportunity at offense. Relating wave and Metanaris have other ideas in the midfield.
Oh, he doesn't have boost. He didn't think K-Dop was going to miss that, and Virtuoso getting in Fairy Peak's face just to try and prevent the fast break, and somehow that buys relating wave enough time to come through and stall things out at the midfield line again.
Endpoint just time and time again winning the 1v1 challenges and earning themselves more opportunities. Fairy Peak demolished a momentary 2v3, but relating wave misses it on the wall, and K-Dop will be able to come in, get that ball into the box. Fairy Peak to bulldoze this through 1. Metanaris will get it back to the corner. Alpha off the wall. He got 1 flip recycle already to set up the K-Dop. The double play again! And this time Vitality rally and tie the series.
Wow. What a shot from K-Dop. Now there's the moment where you've got 2 people on the goal line. Now somebody has to go get in Alpha's face, because you can't be worried about the flip reset from there, but they know what's happened when they commit a little too early, so they stop on the line, give K-Dop a little room, and top right corner, see you later.
Man, that's 2 goals in this game where Alpha sets up a ball, K-Dop comes in, makes the defenders go, oh wait, maybe it's him that's gonna shoot, and then Alpha just blasted to the top there. Hat trick for Alpha in game number 2. 4-3 overtime, both of our games so far. This has been a very exciting game, a very exciting match of Rocket League so far.
It's been a lot of back and forth, but in general, feels like Endpoint doing the much better job at winning that midfield battle. You were talking about winning a lot of those 1v1 challenges. Sure, a couple of great transitions from Alpha. Don't get it twisted, and definitely facilitating things on offense for Vitality, no questions asked. But what you need to see a lot more of Vitality, if they're going to continue with that long clear out of their own half approach, it needs to be in such a way that it's going to force Endpoint to hit the ball right back, because a lot of them are those long clears that are going towards the ground, and Endpoint are kind of just trapping it back on their own side, and that's giving them possession right back.
If Vitality can earn some uncontested space in the midfield, and earn is a very important word here because Endpoint is not giving it to them. I feel like some very quick infield passes could really be a difference maker right now. With just how strong the 1v1 game has been from Endpoint. Oh, they got an opportunity there, and then the shooter missed.
No, it's because Alpha got an extra touch. He did everything. He got the ball over the defense. He got it cleanly out to K-Dop, and as he landed, just pinged right back into the ball and took it away.
Virtuoso going for a brilliant play, but one that's not going to happen. Relating wave off the corner. K-Dop with a clear out to Fairy Peak. Fairy Peak misses. Metzenars will dismount the wall, try to win the challenge. Gets it neutral. It's good enough against K-Dop. And Virtuoso will do what Virtuoso's been doing. Metzenars now sets it up in the midfield. Fairy Peak back towards Alpha and K-Dop. K-Dop will pop it out of the backfield. But this midfield control, any amount of space given to Endpoint, and I'm talking like feet. Like if the ball is just far enough away from you, they are collapsing on it and just popping it back to your corner over and over again and just creating this consistent pressure that inevitably is going to turn into the first goal.
And that is shown perfectly there by a couple of beautiful challenges from Endpoint. Unfortunately not going to account for much in terms of the score, but it is control. And look at Relating Wave with space, trying to keep it close, and on it instantly is Alpha.
Alpha and Metzenaris both taking advantage of the space, developing the field for their respective teams, dismantling the last player's touch. And the latest we've seen this series go without a goal. Virtuoso over one. Metzenaris is there. Fairy Peak's going to try and challenge him and actually gets to the ball first. But Relating Wave takes it away from the front line. K-Dop in the second man picks up two and double taps it off the crossbar. Vitality's on top.
Whenever K-Dop has had a little bit of room, he's turned it into a good one. And the only reason Metza doesn't turn and challenge right there is because he's got no boost in the tank. You were kind of wondering why he wasn't able to win that challenge at the midfield line earlier. It's because he had no boost at that point either. And so someone getting starved out on Endpoint opens up an opportunity. K-Dop delivers.
Fairy Peak out to Alpha. Alpha, nice dunk over Metzenaris, and Virtuoso closes into this corner, try and pick it up, but there, man, Fairy Peak's challenge actually turned into a shot. Vitality starting to light up in the challenge department. As it shows on the scoreboard. Right cross in halftime here, 1-0. Vitality looking to take match point here off of game 3. Virtuoso to the outside. Metzenaris is going to try and follow this one as well. The communicative double commit. Fairy Peak put it on target. Not very fast though. Metzenaris easily dismounts.
That was a big demo right there from Endpoint in the midfield, because you were not wrong. Vitality really is starting to squeeze them. And that demo opens up a lot of that space in the midfield to work with, forces the rotation to change a little bit for Vitality, open up a few more holes, and unfortunately, it didn't last for very long because they're right back to where they started.
Demo's starting to come in from both sides. Team's getting physical and saying, hey, these rotations a little bit too perfect. How about we shake things up with some demolition derby? The pass into the midfield actually collected by Endpoint. And they're starting to gain more pressure. Alpha on this backboard doesn't get much of a touch. Fairy Peak, that would have been a hilarious own goal if those two players were just slightly worse. Alpha into the midfield. Virtuoso to the outside, trying to connect with Metzenaris, but Fairy Peak breaks it up and now picking up control in the midfield. He'll win the challenge against Relating Wave. He's out of boost though. He'll go for the corner and let Alpha come through the air for it. K-Dop now against Virtuoso in the midfield. Traps, passes to Fairy Peak, but it's over the top of his longtime teammate. Alpha, though, picks it up on the far side and dribbles it past 2. Onto the backboard, he got Virtuoso, both Metanaris, and the follow-up from K-Dop. He just barely misses the ball, and Virtuoso now on a breakaway with Metanaris.
Look at Virtuoso, 2 big challenges. Alpha taking it away in the midfield, and now it's Endpoint got to scramble back.
Metanaris, back and forth both teams. The quality of the touches means that basically you're always 2 touches away from a shot on target. If your offense breaks down, get back, and how does this go in?
What a shot from Metza. I mean, that's just a pinch that goes wicked left, and Fairy Peak clean misses it. I don't even think Metza was trying to shoot it per se. I mean, he's just riding with Fairy Peak towards that ball, but he ends up getting the perfect shot, and that was dirty.
That is classic. We take those. Hey, it counts, and they've tied up the game now. As something that Vitality had kind of on lock at this point. Suddenly, overtime, 3 games in a row. How about it? Relating wave onto the backboard. Oh, they're going to look to end it right now. Virtuoso's just a little too slow on the trigger. Here's Virtuoso. Alpha through the air. Do they get him on the 2 again? Fairy Peak puts it in. K-Dop can't get it around. Overtime, 3 games.
Yep, that's the press the win button attempt from Vitality, it would seem, for this series, is get Alpha the ball at any means necessary. That guy, he is a can opener right now against that defense.
Ooh. Vitality having to dive at balls crossing their net here in overtime. Metanaris through another. K-Dop gets this away. Alpha thinking about rotating, but then thinking of becoming the front line. Fairy Peak gets a demolition on the Virtuoso and then looks for another on Relating Wave. They've got Endpoint very loose in their own back third. Relating Wave will counter with a demolition to Alpha, and now he's got an open net if he can just find the way around the ball. It was too strong into the corner. We'll keep playing. Relating Wave having to adjust his read. Fairy Peak over the top of K-Dop. This could be bad. Virtuoso going to try and set up the rest of his team, but pass not good enough, and K-Dop's able to get the clear away, break up that attempt.
Turns out K-Dop the smart one out of the 2 of us there, and nice save from Virtuoso as Endpoint again getting pushed back into their own half. And this is going to be an awkward attempt to leave. Look at Alpha with that bump on Relating Wave, prevents Endpoint from following it up and gives Vitality the ball right back.
It's Fairy Peak off the wall. Alpha he feels front flip, man.
He had the wrong read, so he pulled off.
Metanaris to the goal. Alpha gets it away. Now Mets versus Alpha here as things calming down for a moment in overtime. Teams alternating challenges. Here's K-Dop onto the wall looking for a crazy tap, broken up on the backboard. Metanaris across the field. Fairy Peak to pick it up off the ceiling. No boost to work with, and he'll use his flip just to get back to the ground. Alpha trying to trap this. Here comes Endpoint. Metanaris past 1. K-Dop gonna break it up. Try to get it out to Alpha. And it looks like the initial setup touch from both teams, solid. It's the challenge at this point of contact for the shooter that is just completely breaking up any shooting opportunities for both teams.
Yeah, it's the people coming out of net for both teams, making great approaches on a lot of those off of balls. Alpha, wow!
What a block.
Recognize
well
the
done.
danger there.
Just become a wall, and then looks for the counterattack himself. Fairy Peak versus Metanaris here in the corner. Relating Wave demolished in enemy territory. K-Dop has to fall back, and here comes Metanaris against 2, gets it through Alpha, and then past both the other players, the ball will roll wide of the shooting lanes. Here's Virtuoso, bound of Relating Wave, blocked by Fairy Peak. Metanaris through 1. Metanaris onto the wall and looking for bumps, finds one, but Fairy Peak and Alpha able to cover it up, no problem. Virtuoso tried to go for the dunk, but the Octane just a little too high. Endpoint, though, pressing for the win here. Metanaris with lots of boost, looking for the pass back out. Oh, in front Alpha out of goal, just blasts it to the net. Relating Wave has to make a diving, retreating save.
Oh, that's one where you're frustrated if you're Metza. You knew you had to buy a little extra time, but you didn't realize it was going to be for no reason. You did all that work to get a beautiful tap off the backboard out in the middle, and no one there for it. Ooh.
Oh, Metanaris. Oh, he tried to go for the redirect, but it doesn't happen. maybe the fake would have worked as well. Kid up in the backfield. To the box, Virtuoso. Exits to the corner and clears. Here's Metanaris. Bit of a fake, possibly no. Alpha just has the read from the beginning. Gets in the way of Metanaris. Now all of Endpoint facing the wrong direction. Here comes Vitality. Nice cover up on the retreat, but it doesn't matter. Fairy Peak reads it off the ceiling and gets the win.
Man, what a read from Fairy on this so fast. He was just making sure that he knew where that clear was headed, and as soon as it pinged off the ceiling, he was ready to go. Advantage of position leads to that one. Fairy Peak can see it develop in front of him. All the defenders have to see the play develop above them. They lose a little bit of that situational awareness.
Yeah.
They don't even know that Fairy Peak's got him beat to that ball.
Oh, that was that moment where Endpoint is all facing the wrong, not the wrong direction, but they're not looking towards the enemy goal. They all are having to move back, a retreating defense there, and Relating Wave takes it on himself to attack vertically. Says, as I'm moving back, I'm gonna move up and meet with Kadop as he pushes into territory. The question becomes, is that the right play? Should I let Kadop go off the backboard? We don't have somebody on the backboard, but he probably can't double tap this. Is there a better chance that the player who's getting set up in net could possibly get up and block the follow-up? You'll never know. You'll never know in a situation like that.
It's just a product of what happens, you know? There is no bad plan unless it leads to a goal, right?
and then it was, I guess it was bad.
in which case it was terrible.
Oh man, should have known. Here's Alpha. With Vitality now on match point. The favorites coming into the series, but you wouldn't know it having watched this gameplay. So even from both these teams, 3 overtimes in 3 games.
Vitality, though, they really did put an immense amount of pressure on Endpoint in that previous game. Early on in that series, games 1 and 2 felt pretty solid for Endpoint in terms of, fighting for possession and getting over onto that orange half, but at game 3, that was rough for them. They could not find too many opportunities to break out. That's a miss from Virtuoso, and thankfully Fairy Peak not expecting it, unable to turn it in. But Vitality not done yet. Pass to Kadop. He chips it over Met's Relating Wave again, able to make the recovery effort and try and find a way out one more time.
Look at these rotations in the Endpoint third. Virtuoso will finally find a clear away, but Alpha had swung all the way back for full boost, and he's got the ball right back into the blue. First minute has been all Vitality. Virtuoso gets past one. Fairy Peak's there, demolished by Metanaris, and finally, Endpoint will earn a little bit of time, but Alpha trying to take it immediately away from him. What a dodge from Relating Wave.
That's the right move, though, from Alpha. You kind of see your teammate get demoed in the corner, and you see that hesitation from the opponents, and you just think, all right, put pressure on him. And he ended up almost able to regain possession.
Oh, Relating Wave trying to double tap him and get the dunk in there as well. No goal here. Game 4. Pass down. Relating Wave going to come for round 2 off the backboard. Misses, though. Metanaris keep it trapped.
Spicy one.
That would have been nice. Here's Virtuoso. Into the corner, slowed down. Kadop will move through. He wins a challenge, but he's out of boost. And Vitality may be struggling in the tanks. Much needed clear. It's Alpha. Enough boost to get it off the backboard. Followed from Fairy Peak. Well placed as Metanaris is caught dead-footed. That's Vitality with the lead.
Not the first time this has happened in this series either. I mean, you can't blame Virtuoso too much for not getting to that bounce off the wall. But it was a pretty tight window in terms of timing required. He did not meet the threshold, and you leave Metza in the one-on-one in those situations. That's happened a couple times in this series, and Vitality has scored pretty much every single one of those.
Vitality has had pretty strong accuracy in general. When they have the shots, they're like, these just don't miss this. They are not missing. Fairy Peak, the loft, using his flip. Relating Wave through the demolition on each. Momentary 2v2 is Fairy Peak and Alpha now. Fairy Peak will stay with this ball, and Alpha kind of caught out of rotation now.
That's a goal.
But there's Kadop from the outside, and Relating Wave actually makes the save off the corner. Well done. The weird position from Alpha, to me, apparently that must have drawn out Endpoint, left them open in the back, and then Kadop shoots well, and Related Wave just barely gets back in time to cover it up.
Just a little too far to the right for KDOP, it would seem. I thought there was no way they were going to make that one back, and Endpoint still find themselves down 1 and grateful for the slight miscue in accuracy. Virtuoso, you could see him starting to try and push the envelope a little bit with the positioning, but it's getting risky for Endpoint. You have to be careful. Vitality will absolutely hit the turtle mode button if they go up 2 here.
Alpha shoots well placed after getting just a moment alone with the ball. They're up by 2.
Now watch this. Here's what Vitality's going to do. It's going to be a normal kickoff, no problem. But as soon as they get boost, they're going to have someone way deep in their own half every time. And any chance they get, boom, or a dribble.
And a series that has been so close. Up until this point, do they get the kickoff? Fairy Peak? No, Metanaris will cover him up. Alpha, though, with the follow-up, just barely wide of the goal, and Relating Wave will look for a clear. Alpha tries to break up the play, but doesn't get a wheel onto it. Now, Metanaris, well placed. Fairy Peak covers it up on the post. Now back to the outside. Metanaris in front of the box. It's behind Virtuoso, though. He has to leave it for Relating Wave. Fairy Peak back down. Through 2, Fairy Peak.
Oh, mistouched.
Into the final minute, Endpoint needing a goal to put this within reach. Alpha happy to flick one. Fairy Peak looks for the redirect. Relating Wave blocks it just enough, but the follow from KDOP in front of the goal. Alpha is all the way in the back. Nice. There's a back pass to him. They get it away, and around Virtuoso, the follow-up nearly on target. Vitality is popping off right now, 30 seconds away from the win.
That is a good place to be for viewer Vitality. This has been a hard-fought series, no doubt about it. But as it would seem, Endpoint, you know, they always play good, but it's never quite good enough. And it really just came down, I think, in this one to the mistakes, if you even want to call them that. It's more just Vitality put them in a position where it needs to be perfect to be successful. And on those times where Endpoint couldn't meet the mark, Vitality did not disappoint.
And Vitality here, I think, tightening up their midfield game as well, just giving them so many more opportunities. That the place where Endpoint was dominating at the beginning of the series, ultimately the thing that is their demise here. 4 games, Vitality secure the 2nd seed in their groups. Well done to them, and Endpoint going to have to continue to look for wins later on here, but still very impressive performances from both teams. Loved particularly Virtuoso's performance at the beginning of that series.
Yeah, Virtuoso, he attempted to enter beast mode, but you cannot fight what your opponents are but better, you know? They had Alpha, who was absolutely a mechanical wizard. The transition game from him throughout this series, textbook. You want to watch how to air dribble out of your own half and keep possession? Watch this one back and watch every single time he did that. It was great.
Absolutely. No, brilliant performances from everybody here. Ultimately, though, Vitality able to take the win there and improve to the 2nd seed. So another series in the books as we continue our first day of the European Spring Split here. And we have some more action in store for you guys coming up after the break. Dignitas taken to the pitch. It'll be a lot of fun. Stick around. You're watching the RLCS.